What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as some interesting trend indicators. Now, I do just want to jump right into the technical analysis and charting, because I feel like that's what you guys are here to see. So we will discuss the article that I have later on in the video if you guys want to stay around for that. Otherwise, let's jump into what exactly is happening right now. So as we know, there's very interesting trend patterns happening within crypto right now. I have Bitcoin and Litecoin pulled up right now. As you guys notice, there's a different, indicator on the bottom right now. Usually I'm using Fibonacci. I always use RSI and the high-low minimum moving average. But today I decided to incorporate the MACD in regards to showing us where potentially this price is headed to. So very interesting, but we're going to start to see some interesting reversals possibly and trend patterns that could potentially lead us to where exactly in this market we plan on going. So very interesting, very cool news. And I do just want to jump pretty much right into it. So I'm also really interesting enough, I'm seeing like this very odd pattern right here. Not sure how much this holds truth, but there is a downtrend in the slightest right here. Something to look at. I know a lot of YouTubers are using fractals. That is definitely a possibility on a coin like this. We'll if we see any, we'll draw them in. But for the most part, I want to jump into Bitcoin right now. You'll notice we're pretty much heading back down to supports that we've already been at. And you know where I'm going with this. So, I'm not necessarily that afraid if we do decide to pull lower. One of the fact being that we are only trading at 35 on the RSI. It gives us room to move lower. It gives us room to move lower. So where could we potentially be seeing prices move up to? So obviously there are possibilities of short-term highs and short-term lows. But understand when you look at previous levels within this major descending triangle, and I can always draw this out to make it a different color, make it a little bit easier on everybody's eyes. Let's say we have it right here. These could both be potential let's change this. These can both be potential supports right here. So notice there is a major descending triangle on this coin right here, on Bitcoin. Now notice that we are in a consolidation pattern right now to pretty much fill out the rest of this beef that we have left within the charts right here. Let me change this to green. There we go. So understand that there are movements and ways for this coin to travel to before we reach this point right here. Now understand we have been using the the $8,017 line as a support for the past couple of days, ever since we fell pretty much in the end of September. Notice that is where we've had resistance and supports in the past, where we had this quick retracement and then we headed up higher. That's pretty much where we're hugging right now, and it looks like we're battling this at the current moment. Now, even if we do decide to break lower, there is a very strong, significant support holding at 75.85. So regardless, these two lines are very strong supports, indicating a potential break to a major, high that we could see later on in the week. Later on in the months coming. So understand that we do have sideways trading right here. Notice that as we zoom in a little bit closer, I want to pull up the 4-hour. We are hitting a resistance, which shows me, it does tell me that there's room for us to head lower. The fact that we're hitting resistance, we fell off, is reason to believe that we had lower. But when we look at other technical indicators right now, when we see that we're literally about to enter overbought on the RSI, that is a great indicator that we need to consolidate, that we need to break back up, being that we're so undervalued right now. Let me extend this downwards just a tad. Let's see. There we go. Beautiful. So with that being said, the fact that we're seeing these bottom levels being retraced and tested right now, being oversold, shows us a couple of great indicators. One, it shows us that this is a major support. The fact that we bottom out at oversold at the same level we're hitting support right here is a good indication that we're not going to be breaking really much below here. We've seen it in the past, but it usually corrects right back up. The other thing to consider is the fact that we are so close with this Fibonacci level. The fact that we've been hugging this for quite some time now, using a support here, is a great indicator that we could hold out and break above the Fibonacci's. Now that is a great support. You'll notice I feel like it's more on Bitcoin. Haven't seen it much on on sorry, I've seen it more on Litecoin, haven't seen it much on Bitcoin, but you can see right here that we have the sideways movement within the Fibonacci's, and then it usually indicates a bullish break. Now, when I show you guys where we're at right now, you'll notice we're kind of seeing the same thing. We need to see more sideways trading within the Fibonacci's, and then we could predict a bullish break to the upside. But 4 hours short term, Bitcoin looks ready to rally up again. It really does. Now, how high we could go, it's not too high, but there is still profit to be made. Now, if we can hold out on this level right here and we see a small retracement up, we're going to end up hitting supports that we have up here. Notice these supports right here where we've hit resistances for the most part all on this coin. We have a very strong downtrend. Now, if we decide to break up, how much profit, where's the price going to? So you'll see we'll move up to about this level. This is about, I'd say, a 50% gain, a 50% leak, moving us up to around $9,200, a very small play if we decide to break up. This is how much room we have to head higher. There's a lot leading on the fact that we could be breaking bearish, and that's something I want you guys to consider right now, the fact that we could fall lower. On the daily, we still have room to head lower. It's definitely a possibility. I believe hitting here would send us way into oversold. So it's another indicator. I believe we shouldn't break bearish. We're most definitely retesting support once again. And there's a good chance we could hold here. On the daily, we look stronger for a reversal, mainly because we have these Fibonacci's trading much higher up. I know that the black Fibonacci is pretty much right on the coin. You can see this is the black as I draw it out for you guys. So this is what's suppressing the market right now. That's what's pushing us lower. We need to retest that in the next couple of hours if we want to see any sort of reversal back up inside those Fibonacci's. But, with due, we should be seeing a retest of this, orange downtrend in the next couple of days very easily. Now, I do just want to jump into Litecoin, briefly explain to you guys what this MACD indicator means. So I have an article here pulled up, Crypto Trading, the Moving Average Convergence Divergence, as we know, MACD, MACD. So you can see there are three main components to the MACD indicators: the MACD line, blue oscillator, the signal line, the orange oscillator, and the histogram. So what does that mean? You can see the MACD line is blue, signal line is orange, and a histogram is red. MACD line is made up of a 12-period exponential moving average, the EMA, minus 26 EMA. The signal line is a 9-period EMA and the MACD line of the MACD line. The histogram plots the differences between the MACD line and the signal line. Ways to interpret the MACD. The explanation may be hard to wrap your head around, but the MACD is one of the easiest indicators to use because of how simply its data is visually represented. When the MACD crosses above the signal line, it is known as a bullish cross. And when it crosses below, it's known as a bearish cross. So the crosses indicate a shift in trend momentum and represent buy or sell signals depending on the type of cross. So you'll notice when the blue crosses above the orange, we see bullish. When the blue crosses below the orange, we see bearish. That's pretty much the easiest way to, explain that. You can see the MACD is great for identifying possible changes in a trend, but it can also identify overbought or oversold market conditions, which is what we have the RSI for. The conditions are represented when the MACD signal lines separate too far away from both another as well as the zero line. So when this is too gapped, it's usually an indication of overextended, and then we expect to see a reversal. Same thing here. We get pretty overextended, we inevitably see that reversal. But understand, when we get closer, we started to trade sideways, which was interesting here. That's pretty much all I want to go into in regards to the MACD. Now, showing you how that's used right here, you can see that we're seeing a very interesting pattern. Notice how when we see the blue band cross over the orange, it's an indicator of a bullish move. And when the orange crosses over the blue, it's a bearish move. Now, I can't really zoom in on this on my screen, but I'll zoom in on it in the video. You'll notice that we're very close to crossing over right now, which is a bearish move. That's not good. And when we look at this on the 4-hour, we're already seeing that reversal happen. We saw that cross, but we are overextended. So it's very interesting how we place all these together. You can see on here, we're easily already in a bear market. When we had this blue band cross over the orange, this was an indication that we're already in a bear market, which is what we're seeing right now. But nice to see on the weekly. It looks like we're holding on to support fairly well. We can easily draw in another support line if we decide to head lower. I'd say no lower than like 46 on the price graph, so we don't look too bad all in all. But for the most part, Litecoin doesn't look too terrible. The fact that we're hitting a potential death cross right now, with the fact that the market is about to enter oversold, it's just showing me that we're extremely weak and we're looking for that volume. We're very desperate. Volume has died off. We're almost about to enter oversold. Prices are dipping. We're below the high-low MMA. MACD is about to cross. A lot of indicators that volume is coming in. We could easily shoot up and retest the high-low middle moving averages, or a high of $72. That is a percentage leap or gain of around, I'd say, 20%. Or sorry, 37%, a $20 jump on the crypto. So that's a short-term potential bullish analysis. We either fall lower to like $47, which is highly unlikely due to the fact that we're so oversold right now. Otherwise, with Ethereum, we don't look too bad. You can see we just broke bearish out of the massive uptrend that we were starting to have, or I wouldn't say massive, a short or smaller uptrend we started to have. I kind of figured that's where we'd play out due to the fact that we were pretty much retesting MACD levels right now, and I would bet that XRP is seeing the same thing. XRP's uptrend, wow, very interesting. So Ethereum broke bearish out of its support. We can see it right here. We can probably extend this a little bit sideways if we wanted to. We could look at it like this. That's a possibility because that's kind of how this is trending right now. So maybe it's not yet out of it on Ethereum because we do have more supports here, and those kind of refers similar to what we're seeing within XRP right now. So I could leave it like that for right now. XRP looking okay, hitting a resistance up here at 30 cents, and we're starting to fall back down. But let's see, I am anticipating a dump to come to this coin. Once we hit levels up here, we'll probably dump back down to around 25 cents. Lastly, current coin market cap, markets are down. Very obvious, things are easily checked out. Markets are down, markets are falling lower, and all the cryptos are in red, about 5% to 4%. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.